Hope you feel well.
Thank you. Yeah, Mamish, I don't want to broadcast what happened to me, but my stomach was really nuts.
Yeah, I understood that. When you said that was it, and the others were waiting around, I thought you maybe it was going to resume. I said, I don't think so, but I stayed here for half an hour trying to learn this on my own.
Not so easy, huh?
No, it's not so easy. I don't know. Is this the same thing? And I would really like to understand my problem is I don't understand the whole Kabbalistic system.
So the classes that we started with this, they're all on the YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. If I go into internet without, because I don't do Facebook.
Go to YouTube. I said, yeah. Facebook, I don't know how to find it, but it's
I don't want Facebook. Yeah.
So go on YouTube
and put it in
Yeshivat Simchat Shlomo. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, this year is dedicated to either Nishmas.
Yaakov ben Yeshayahu
Halevi. So we're on page 10, right? So yesterday we learned the inyan of Yaakov Asher Podel Avram, that Yaakov redeems Avraham, that with Rachmanis, having Rachmanis on your neshama, having compassion on your neshama, you could redeem the love, you can bring out your love for Hashem, right? And we explained, Dr. Rebbe explained that it happens that people find themselves like their heart is like a heart of stone, and you could know all the most beautiful teachings, and still the heart is like a heart of stone, right? Because in this world, the world is called Alma de Prude, the world of separation. Another name for this world is Alma de Shikra, the world of lies. So this world looks like it's a separate thing, and it makes me think that I'm an independent entity, an independent being. And then Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Ki lo yirani ha'adam v'chai, man cannot see me and remain alive. But when we die, then we do see the truth. We do see a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And then, we pray to Hashem, have Rachmanis on us, that Shaloi Nevash, Shaloi Nekolim, Lo'olam V'Aretz, have Rachmanis on my neshama, help me arouse my neshama so that I don't end up being in eternal shame when I'm going to realize the truth of everything. Right? I once heard a mashal, I don't know if I remembered the whole thing, but it's like the king gave 3 peasants permission to go into the palace and take whatever they want. And but they only had 1 hour to be there. And so they went in, and this one started, he saw this game room, started playing with games. Another one saw, horses to ride on, and all kinds of things. And then the hour was up, and he said, okay, show me what you collected, right? And they realized, like, wow, we spent the whole hour here. We could have done something really, really special. And instead, I got distracted by the games. I got distracted by this. I got distracted by that. And that's basically, we come down into this world. We get a certain amount of time to be here. Reb Shlomo says you can go down to this world and collect and learn Torah and do mitzvahs. That's what's going to be eternal. Or you can be distracted by the world and play with the toys of the world, and run around after money, run around after this, run around after that. And then comes the end, and Nebuch, we see that it was a mekach tois. It was like, we allowed ourselves to be deceived, right? So we could know that, but just knowing it is not necessarily going to break the heart of stone, right? So that's why we have to have psukim in the Torah, which are in the davening, which are about Rachmanis, and we're asking Hashem, please have Rachmanis on me. I'm having a hard time having Rachmanis on my neshama, but you're the Baal Harachamim, you're the master of all compassion. So have Rachmanis on me that I should not waste my time here and run after all these worldly things. Have Rachmanis that I should be conscious of my neshama. So we're at chapter 4 of this Maimer, Sfat Lachem, Daf Tesvav, and this chapter is going to be a little bit, a lot of it Kabbalistic.
Oh, good.
Okay. But in any case, yesterday we were going to do the kitzur, we were going to do the summary of chapter 3 before we went on. So to go back one page. No, we started to do it. And then I didn't feel well. Remember, I had to run out in the middle.
Okay. I finished it. Yeah, we do it together.
Everyone sees it?
Bottom left corner of the page.
In order to get to this great level of love during Kriyat Shema, right? That b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha, b'chol meyadecha, to love Hashem so much that you're ready to give everything for Hashem, to mamish, to experience your complete liberation from Mitzrayim. Tiknu lomar gimel mine psukim. So the rabbis put into the davening 3 different kinds of verses b'meshech hatfilah. Keneged shalosh amidot ahava yira v'rachamim, corresponding to these 3 attributes of love, fear, and compassion. Shehein inyanam shel shloshet ha'avot Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. That Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they were the masters of these 3 attributes, of these 3 midot. V'zeu perush tefilot avot tiknum, and that's what's meant, that the prayers were established by the avot. Sheyesh b'tfilah psukim lo'orei ahava LaHashem. There are verses in the davening which are, the intention is to arouse the love of Hashem. V'yesh psukim. Shalidei hitorut ahava LaHashem ha'adam oseh torato keva u'malachto rak arai. And being in love with Hashem means that you make your Torah learning the permanent main thing of your life. And yes, we have to work, but the work is sort of like secondary. Yesh psukim lo'orei et hayira. There are verses to arouse our fear of God, which is Midat Yitzchak, the attribute of Yitzchak. Yesh psukim lo'orei rachamei shamayim al atzmo, and there are verses to arouse compassion, heavenly compassion on yourself, which is Midat Yaakov, the attribute of Yaakov. V'hainu, kasher lev ha'adam mitumtam beino yachol lo'orei et atzmo b'ahavat Hashem. So when a person's heart is blocked and he's not able to arouse love on himself, it's not able to arouse his love for God, as tzarich lo'orei rachmei shamayim, so you need to arouse heavenly compassion, livdot, to redeem or legalot et ahava shebelibo, so that the love that's in your heart, which is there, is embedded in our hearts, to redeem it and to reveal it. Hitogurut rachamim hanal ba'a al yedei, and how do you arouse this compassion? It comes by al yedei shemitbonein eich shekol isuko behavlei ha'olam. When you meditate and start realizing that all the things that we're involved with in the vanities of this world, hushtus, it's plain and simple stupidity. And it's only the result of the fact that we consider this world to be some kind of a real existence of its own. When the real truth is that the world has no reality of its own. And when the person's soul is going to leave his body, he will know the truth, he will recognize the truth. So when you think about that, so consequently, the person is going to ask Hashem for compassion. He's going to ask for Hashem's compassion that he should understand this even while his soul is in the body. And then if we achieve this, we will not be eternally shamed. So now chapter 4. So all this up to here has been the aspect of Ratzo. Right? And I don't think any of the three of you were here when we started the Maimer. You were here? No? You weren't here. Mm-hmm. So Yecheskel saw, when he had the vision of the chariot, so he saw the Hachayot Ratzo V'Shov. He saw the angels rushing forward and coming back. Rushing forward and coming back. Two words with which to understand this is inspiration and application, right? In other words, they're inspired to rush towards Hashem, and then they have to come back and apply what they got. So Ratzo is, for example, is Yetziat Mitzrayim. Not for example, Yetziat Mitzrayim is, we didn't really get it. We didn't really understand what's going on, but we just knew that the Shekhinah was revealed. There was a Gilui of the coast, there was a revelation of godliness, and Hashem said, get your backpack and over your shoulder, and we're going, right? A lot of people didn't get it. 80% stayed behind. But even those who did go, we understood we better go, right? We gotta go out of here. So we left Mitzrayim, right? So this is all Yetziat Mitzrayim. In other words, getting to the point where you're finding, you're discovering, you're revealing your love for Hashem is the aspect of Ratzo. Like, for example, the Kalev Rebbe. You know the Kalev Rebbe? Someone gesehen? Kalev. So Kokeshma. No, you don't know it? It's a Kalev song from the first Kalev Rebbe. So in Bnei Brak, he's actually one of my students saw him last week in Sanhedria. He's a Holocaust survivor, He doesn't have a beard, and he has this. He doesn't have any hair. He has these fake payas, white payas, and the reason is that the Nazis did experiments on him. He's an old man already. You can see him on YouTube singing the so Koko Shmal. So he printed a siddur, and he put in that that it's Leilu Nishmas to 6 million, right? And they put in there that when you're saying Shema, you should say it, b'shem the 6 million. You should say it, in any case, but another kavanah that some people have when they're saying Shema Yisrael is they imagine that this is the last moment of my life, and these are the last words that I'm going to say. I'm giving my life for Hashem. So that's al ratzo. Understand? It's ratzo. Ratzo is like, it's very inspirational, but the Rebbeinu Shalom didn't put us here to just be inspired. Hashem put us here for also shov, get inspired, and now apply it, right? So what does it mean to apply it? So again, v'hinei kol hanal shuhu b'chinat ratzo. All the above is the aspect of ratzo, the rushing forward to God. Yetziat Mitzrayim, it's leaving Mitzrayim. So eino ela lenefesh elokit bilvad. So this ratzo is basically all the experience of the divine soul. Shehi b'bchinat galut b'toch Mitzrayim u'gvulim ha'mechasim. In other words, the divine soul that's in each of us is generally in exile, in Mitzrayim, in the limitations of this body, of this physical world that we're living in, right? Like we learned before,
it's concealed.
Concealing, yeah. Like Paro said, I don't know Yudke Vavke, I don't know Hashem. Like it says, Hashem said to Yaakov, Anochi eredi mach Mitzrayim, v'anochi a'alcha. I will come down with you to Egypt, and I will take you out of there. Shezehu shneimar li Yaakov, that was said to Yaakov, Shehu hanefesh elokit bilvad. That was said to the divine soul. Why is Yaakov referred to as the divine soul? Yud Akev. Yud Akev. So Yud is the letter representing the neshama. Akev is the heel, right? So it's the Hashem says to Yud Akev, Hashem is saying to the neshama, even though you're going down into this world, I'm going to come down with you, and I'm also going to get you out of there. Okay? Yaakov chevel nachalato. Yaakov is, another pasuk says that Yaakov is like connected with Hashem connected to Hashem like with a rope. And wherever we go, we're sort of like, connected with Hashem. Also, it says, Ki chelik havaya amo. His people are a part of Hashem. In other words, we're mamish connected. And then there's another pasuk that says, K'mo shekatuv vayar Yisrael et hayad hagdola asher asa Hashem. Yisrael saw the great hand that Hashem demonstrated. She Yisrael bilvad, Yisrael alone, shehu nefesh elokit. Yisrael is again referring to the divine soul. Ki Yisrael ala b'machshava. So the divine soul saw the greatness that Hashem was revealing. Yisrael, the word Yisrael is the letters Li Rosh. I have a leader. I have. Yisrael bilvat ra'u et asher asa havaya.
Who's the Li? Yisrael Li Rosh.
Me, you.
Each individual Jew.
Yeah. So And Yisrael alone, in other words, just this higher level of the divine soul, saw Asher Asa Havaya, what Hashem did to the Egyptians. And also when we're saying Shema, right? When we're saying Shema, this is the aspect of Ratzo. I'm ready to give up everything to go with Hashem. So Eino Elo LaNefesh Elokit Bilvad. It's the Nefesh Elokit that is only the Nefesh Elokit, only the divine soul that is experiencing this. Aval Nefesh Abahamid, but the animal soul, Mikol Makom Hu Roseh Lechol K'Maaseh Behema. The Nefesh Abahamid still wants to eat like an animal, right? Right? We go to Shul Shabbos morning, beautiful davening. After davening is a kiddush. You get out of my way. You get out of my way. That kishka is for me, right? That piece of cake is for me. What happened? I just davened. I just had a beautiful davening. I experienced beautiful things, right? But it was the nefesh elokit that experienced it. My behemoth is still a behemoth. So in other words, what I experienced was the aspect of ratzo, the rushing forth towards Hashem. But the shav, the application of that, hasn't happened yet. In other words, there hasn't been any transformation in my animal soul.
It can happen.
Of course it could happen. We're supposed to make it happen. Okay?
What causes the transformation?
So that's what we're learning.
Okay.
וכדי לקבל את התורה שהוא גילוי רצונו כביכול למטה, to receive the Torah. And what is the Torah? The Torah is Gilui Ritzono Lemata, is the revelation of Hashem's will here below in this world. So it's necessary to first of all achieve the aspect of nullification of the animal soul. Now, another word that we use for explaining what is the animal soul is egotistical. It's concerned about itself, right? The animal soul, it's like you have a little bit of experience understanding with computers, so it's like we have two operating systems. There's the divine soul and there's the animal soul. The divine soul wants to be in union with Hashem. The animal soul basically just cares about itself and its own pleasure. Right? I gave you the example once. My mother made me a birthday cake when I was 10 years old. And she said, everybody that comes gets a slice of cake. Well, there I was sitting, waiting for people to come. And the thought was, oh wow, if nobody shows up, I get the whole cake. Right? Well, one person shows up, and what happened to my piece? It went down 50%. Right? Another person came, my piece is now only a third. A fourth person came, I only get a quarter of the cake. Right? 10 people came, I only get a tenth of the cake. Right? So the animal soul is sitting there and saying, oy vey, every time another person's coming in, my piece of cake is getting smaller. The divine soul is saying, Gewalt, with some sugar and flour and eggs, I can make another person happy. I can make another person happy. I can make another person happy, right? So it's like so the divine soul, the Nefesh Elokit, is interested in the unity and the union with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. The animal soul will von dem nicht wissen, doesn't want to know about that. The animal soul is interested in its own self. It's like most of the time when people say, I love you, or I love fish, right? I've told you the anecdote, right? Mm-hmm. So what are you really saying? You're really saying is, I love myself. But I just said, I love you. But when I said, I love you, what I really meant is that I love you because because you make me feel good. I love you because you let me drive your car. I love you because this, because of that. That's the nefesh habahamis. That's the animal soul. Okay. So, in order to receive the Torah, right, it's necessary to nullify the animal soul, to nullify the egotistical self. That it shouldn't be interested just in itself, it should be interested in the union with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Did you do me a favor? Sit over here so this way I'm not turning like fix up. Okay? Yeah? You can take the chair with you if you want, I don't care, but there's another chair also. Okay, this way I can, yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome, holy brother.
So,
Welcome.
so now notice, we're not talking about killing the animal soul or strangling it. We're not talking about choking it to death, okay? We're talking about transforming it, right? There's a big mistake when people think, oh, I want to have a piece of cake. All right, that's terrible. I'm not gonna do it, you know? No, it's not terrible that you want to have a piece of cake. But what you got to understand is that you're experiencing desire right now because what's behind the desire is you want to have some gratification. But what's the real gratification that you want? The real gratification that you want is the pleasure of the union. And the Alter Rebbe explains in a different manner. He explains that when the blessing that we make before Kriya Shema, where we talk about the Yifanim, the Chayes, the Kodesh, all those angels, explains that the source, the origin of our animal soul is that it used to be among those angels. So Zamul Divein Malach. And those angels are always wanting the gratification of being in union with Hashem. Even to the point that if they know that if they go too close, they're going to get burned up. They don't care. They want to be in that union, and that explains why in this world the animal soul is always looking for gratification, even if it's looking for gratification in a way that's going to be harmful to it. Okay. So the avodah is that in that blessing before Kriyat Shema, the whole point of talking about those angels is to remind the animal soul, yes, you want pleasure, you want to survive, but the real pleasure that you really want is the union with Hashem. So now we're going to say Shema. I want you to join the Nefesh Elokis, the divine soul is saying to the animal soul, I want you to join me in the saying of the Shema. Okay? So that's the Kitzur. Now, let's talk about receiving the Torah, right? Well, I could look at the Torah as a book of rules, which it is, right? And the Torah says, you follow these rules, you get rewarded. You don't, zap, okay? Now, if I'm receiving the Torah just on that level, it's like, what do you call it? It's like I go into your house, and you tell me, listen, Shalom, you'll behave yourself nicely. You'll do this. You'll sweep the floor. You'll do this. You'll do that. I'll give you food, right? Well, I want to eat. So yeah, you said in order to eat, I'm going to have to sweep the floor. Okay, so I'm going to sweep the floor, right? But it's all about me. It's because I want to eat, right? I want to eat, so then I'm doing that. So if what you're giving me is just like a book of rules and so on, right? So I'm not really relating with you. But the Torah is not just a book of rules. The Torah is Hashem's will. Like the Gemara says on the first word, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. The Torah, the Gemara says, Anochi is a Roshi Tevis. Ano Nafshis Ksavis Yehavis. I, my essence, my soul, am giving you in writing. In other words, Hashem is giving us Himself. Right? He's giving us Himself. And in every mitzvah, in every word, in every letter of the Torah, you have a Kodesh Baruch Hu. But to receive it, right? To receive it, I have to do Bittul Nefesh HaBahamis. I have to nullify and transform my Nefesh HaBahamis, because my Nefesh HaBahamis only understands, oh yes, it's worth doing this mitzvah because, Aser to Aser, Kadesh to Asher, give tzedakah because you'll get rich.
Kedai.
It's worth it. Or you'll do this mitzvah, you'll get another bit of Olam Haba, right? That the animal soul understands, right? But it's, okay, good, but it's not really relating so much with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's relating with its own self. What's good for me? What's good for me, So he says, but to really receive the Torah, Shehu Gilui Ritzonai, Yisborach Kiviyochel Lamata, the top first line on Tazayin, the receiving of the Torah. What is the Torah? It's a revelation of Hashem's Ratzon. And what is Ratzon? You know what Ratzon is? Will, right? But Ratzon, in your own self, like Reb Shlomo once said to somebody asked him, I've met these two girls, which one should I marry? So Reb Shlomo said to him, if you can tell me why you're marrying this girl, then I can convince you to marry my sister instead. But if it's, because that's not at the level of Ratzon. Ratzon is higher than logic. Okay? This is what, you understand? Why do you want to paint your room this color? Well, I have a reason. Well, if you have a reason, tell me the reason, and I can convince you that maybe you should change your mind, right? But if it's really your Ratzon, then nobody's going to change your mind, right? Once heard at the Verbrengen, was mein Zivellen, steist in Navara Mevanne and Zivil Zachtischen. We won't translate that now. That was for the Yiddish speakers.
I understood the verb.
Yeah, it's okay. Never mind. It's okay. Will is.
Well, what's the end of what Shlomo answered that guy?
No, that was the end. In other words, if you marry the girl that you want to marry, not the girl that that you made a cheshbon, or her father is going to give me this and this one that, this is going to be better for me like this. It's going to be no. When you meet your soulmate, and you feel like this is mamish my soulmate, that's the person to marry. You understand? But if you're making calculations, she has the degrees, she knows how to read, she can cook. Like once Reb Shlomo said that when he was still in Lakewood, so all the Shadchanim were always coming up to him, offering him a shidduch. So the Shadchan comes and tells him that this girl just arrived from Hungary and she can cook and she can this and she can say balabusta. And Shlomo said, and what about, does she know how to speak English or Yiddish? No, she only speaks Hungarian. So Shlomo says, so how am I going to communicate with her? He says, you don't have to talk to her. Right? And for a lot of people, they're not even thinking about communication, It's like I once heard a recording from this Rav in Skver, from a talk that he was giving to the younger lot, the young kollel guys. And he was saying, do you realize, your wife is at home, she's waiting for you all day, she's made a meal, she makes the house beautiful, and you come home, and you're such a heilige tzaddik, you're so holy, and and you barely speak to her for 5 minutes. What do you think this is? You know, she's just there for you. You know, you're marrying. You married somebody. There's communication. There's unification, right? So the Indian of Yichud is like a very, very important thing. So so Hashem is giving us the Torah, right? So you know that the whole Matan Torah is like a wedding, right? The 7 weeks from Pesach till Shavuos is the preparation for the wedding, right? And the preparation for the wedding is the whole period of Sefirat Ha'omer. That my midas, my chesed, my gevurah, my tiferes, and so on, they should be refined to reflect Hashem's midas, Hashem's attributes. And that's what how this Maimer started out, to Sfartim Lachem, that your midot should be like sapphires, sapphire, Evan sapphire. They should reflect Hashem's light. Okay? So how do I get to doing that? So there has to be the union of Bittul Nefesh HaBahamis. There has to be the nullification of the animal soul. I need to nullify the animal soul that it shouldn't get in the way. And how is that done? So v'hainu al yedei hanafat ha'omer v'sfirat ha'omer. So the process for achieving that is the whole avodah of the lifting up of the omer of barley, and the 49 days of counting Sefirat Ha'omer. Kamosh Katuv, as it says, V'henif et ha'omer lifnei havaya. The kohen is to lift the omer. Omer is an amount. The omer of barley before God. Lirtzonchem, for your ratzon. Mimacharat HaShabbat, the day following the first day of Pesach, Yenifenu HaKohen, the Kohen is to lift it up. So what does this mean? Was it some kind of a magical thing over here? Like, you know, you're lifting up the barley and that's the process of transformation. So we have to understand what it means, okay? So the thing is like this. We'll read one more line and then we're going to look into the commentary. So Kihinei Ha'omer Hu min Hasarim. The Omer was from barley. Shahu Machal Behemer. Barley is considered in the Gemara. Barley is considered to be animal food. Okay, wheat is for humans. Barley is what you feed animals. It's a cheaper grain. So look in the commentary and the first column. Okay. So the third paragraph, so first of all, it starts out with a quotation. You see, Ki kedei sheyuchal liyot hagilui lemata, you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You did it? In the
Here.
Are we on the same page? Tesva, Tezayin? Yeah? Okay. Moshe Asisa. Kedei sheyuchal liyot hagilui lemata mamash. In order for the revelation to mamish be real here below, so this revelation of Hashem in the Torah cannot take place until the evil or the negative is cleansed out or clarified. Ki taho einayim meraot bira, because pure eyes can only see if there's no evil. Kamo al derech mashal, for example, kishosim dira lamelech. For example, let's say you get a notice that the king is coming to visit you, right? you want to receive the king, the house has to be clean of all dirt. So this is accomplished through the lifting of the Omer, So now he's going to explain what is this lifting of the Omer. So the Omer was from barley, which is animal food. This is what the whole Omer is about. Both the lifting of the Omer on the second day of Pesach, Sefirat Ha'omer, and the counting of the 49 days, from the day which we started counting on the day that we brought the Omer, because the Omer is from barley. So what does that mean? The whole service. The service of the Hanafat Ha'omer, the service of the raising of the barley, or Sefirat Ha'omer, and the counting of the Omer days, is all about accomplishing a clarification of the animal soul Sheba Adam that is in man. Amnam, right? Yesh shtei avodot b'kesher la'omer, though that indeed there are two avodot in relation to the Omer. There's Hanafat Ha'omer, there's the lifting of the Omer, and then there's Sefirat Ha'omer. והספירה באה לאחרי ובהמשך להתחלפה, and the counting comes after the lifting and the continuation from the lifting of the Omer. So Nekudat HaInyan, the point of this is like this. In order to accomplish that the animal soul should be nullified to Hashem's will, צריך לגלות בה את שורשה ומקורה של הנפש הבהמית עצמה בעולמות רוחניים. It's necessary to reveal the source, the root of the animal soul in the spiritual worlds. This is what's meant when it says in this forum to raise the Nefesh HaBahamis to its root. What does that mean, to raise the Nefesh HaBahamis to its root? That means the Galot is to reveal Ketzat HaNefesh HaBahamit b'Shosha v'Mekora hi b'Tachlit HaBitul LaHashem, is to discover, to reveal that the Nefesh HaBahamis at its root is actually in complete bittul to Hashem. In other words, it's only over here that you think of yourself as being separate. But if you would be aware of the root of your Nefesh HaBahamis, you would realize that the fact that you want gratification, that you want things for yourself, is that at the source you want gratification, but the gratification you want is you want to be in union with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like those angels that just want to be back into God and be absorbed in the Or Ein Sof, even though that would mean that they would lose their identity, right? That's what the Nefesh HaBahamis actually wants. Okay? So to be in touch with your source the root of your nefesh habahamis, that's what's meant in the language of this form, hala'at nefesh habahamit l'shosha, to raise the animal soul back to its root, is in other words reconnected to that truth about the nefesh habahamis, right?
It sounds a lot different than than the word bitul. Bitul sin.
No, at the source, the nefesh habahamis is in complete bittul to Hashem.
It merges into Hashem.
It means it doesn't want to remain separate.
There's no separate entity anymore.
It doesn't want. No, it does have an identity. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a malach.
That could be
It has.
So
because
seems like it doesn't exist anymore.
No, bittul. We're not talking about bittul chometz. Bittul means nullification of the egotistical self. I'm still wanting to give you a glass of water, but not because I want to have the reward of whatever it might be. I want to give it to you because this is what Hashem wants me to do, and I want to be in union with Hashem.
Can this have implications for how a person relates to other human beings?
Of course.
Not just to Hashem.
Of course, because that's the whole idea of that, the refining of your midot, right? So the refining of your chesed, the refining of your love, means that you're not. So it means to go from the point of where I love you, that I really love you, not that I love myself and because you make me feel good. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Hashem, tomorrow we'll continue here at the bottom of page 9, okay?
Sure.
And try to spend some time thinking about this. Like for example, when we eat, when we drink, when we say hello to one another, think about the word bittul. What does it mean? What does bittul mean? What is bittul hayesh? What does it mean to me to break down the separation between myself and a fellow Jew, right? What does that mean? Think about it. Spend some time thinking about it during the day, and then
I think the word bittul can be confusing because it's also used in other ways.
Yeah. It's true. It could be. It doesn't mean to become a shmati.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Sure.